Hey, what's up? My name is Taclys, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own turn-based combat game. Turn-based combat game. I have recently uploaded a video showcasing a three-player version, or a three-player per team version of this. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to do a two-player per team version, but it's easily expandable out to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, however many people you are willing to put into the game. So this is going to be actually a pretty complicated tutorial, so hopefully I don't make any mistakes. Hopefully this can go smoothly. Yeah, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be creating a finished character, and we're going to be creating a finished brain. The brain houses all the workings of this system so that the turn-based combat game runs smoother. So first, let's start on the brain. The brain is going to have 3 phases, but the first phase is going to be here on page 1. The 3 phases are going to include an intermediate phase between the two match, red phase, and blue phase. So what we're going to do is we're going to do started to global, and we're going to do, let's do team turn. And in front of these, we're actually going to put, where's math? Math. Toggle. Every time we come to this page, it will toggle the team turn from true to false. So, we're going to do a couple little cosmetics here. Well, let's get to cosmetics later. We're going to do a countdown timer of 3. And when global team turn equals true, we're going to switch page to page 2. And we're going to copy and paste this. When it is false, we're going to switch to page 3. Page 2 is going to be the brain for blue team. Page 3 is going to be the brain for red team. We'll have both of those brains bring us back here, in which it will toggle this and then send them on to their next turn. Now I want a camera in this view so that it zooms out and shows us the fields. We're going to do a first person camera, and I've already placed the camera in the world. It is placed right here. You want it kind of central to the battlefield. You can see the whole thing. Select that first person camera without controls. Transition easing, ease between. Transition time 0.5, so transitions pretty quickly. Yeah, this is the intermediate page. Next page, I'm going to do, this is going to be the blue team, so we're going to make a numeric variable called blue phase. And global blue phase equals 0. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a check to see whether the first person on blue team is still alive. So when global blue 1 alive equals true, then we're going to started to, come on, move over. Started to global, a new Boolean variable called blue 1 equals true. Then, if global blue 1 alive equals false, we're going to do global numeric variable blue phase equals 1. What we're doing here is if they're alive, it plays their turn. If they're dead, it skips to the next blue phase. So we're going to copy and paste this whole blue phase, paste it, and then when blue phase equals 1, we're going to do blue 2 alive, and this would go to 2, and we just copy and paste that variable there. Instead of blue 1, we do blue 2. Now this may be a lot to take in, especially at the pace I'm going. I'm going at a really fast pace because I have a lot to cover here. So if you need to pause the video, take in what you see, feel free to do that. And then what we're going to do is when global blue phase equals 2, we're going to do a countdown timer 1, switch page to page 1. I forgot to do something a little bit earlier, but don't worry. This is mostly a cosmetic thing. We need to group everything in the blue phase 1 under a countdown timer of 1. The reason that we do this is at the end of Blue's turn, I want a 1-second pause between Blue 1's character and Blue 2's character. If we don't have that pause, while they're walking with Blue 1 character, and then they switch to Blue 2 character, they'll immediately start walking, and they may spend time that you don't want them to spend. So we have a little pause between each turn. Alright, this is looking good. Looks good. Let's copy this page. Copy page. Oh, I need to hit B. Paste page. And we need to change everything from blue to red. So instead of blue phase, we're going to do red phase. So I'm going to copy red phase, paste it there, paste it there, paste it there, paste it there. Next, I need to go to blue alive 1 and make that red alive 1. Let's copy that, paste it there. Then out down here we need to do, not equals 2, blue alive, we need to do red alive 2. Yep, red alive 2. Okay, red alive 2 there. Alright, it's looking good. Then instead of blue 2, we need red 2. And when blue 1, we need red 1. A lot of variables we're working with here, but that's how this thing functions. So, the basic structure of this is set up. There's one more thing we need to do. Back on the starting page, we need to reset the phase count for each team. So when they come back to this page, we need to do global blue phase equals 0. Copy and paste that. And red phase. Where's red phase? There's red phase. Red phase equals 0. That way, every time that the turn comes back to the intermediate phase, everything resets and it's good to go for the next round. Alright. Everything is looking good. Okie dokie. Now comes the fun part. Because we did a lot of code there. That's some of the most important code, but the more tedious code is in our players. Now, I have created a blue astronaut. You can use whatever model you want, but you want to paint him blue. Then let's go into him. And we have a completely blank brain here. But the each of the players is going to have 2 modes. They're going to have passive mode, where they aren't receiving orders or anything. So first we need to assign them a team, because even when they're passive, they can still be attacked. When team equals blue is going to be team 1. Then let's see. We have a number of variables that we need to reset every time that their turn finishes, but I'll get to those later. What we're going to do is, let's see, what do I need to do first? When global blue 1 equals true, we need to switch page to the next page. We also need to establish this person is alive. So once we need the global blue 1 alive to equal true. There we go. It equals true. Now when they die, we'll have this equal false. And it's up to you whether you want their body to remain on the battlefield or not. So that's the basics for the waiting brain, I believe. Next, let's go to this page. I'm actually going to copy and paste the brain team over here. Then let's give them a camera. Camera, follow camera, transition easing, ease between, And then transition time. Once again, we're going to put it at 0.5. So the transitions are nice and snappy. You'd hate to spend like 2 or 3 seconds on a transition. That'd be a waste of time. Alright, so we're just going to create a really simple character. When left stick, I'm going to have them move. When, oh, looks like Project Spark is not online. When X pressed, I'm going to have them attack. I'm going to be specific here and attack light. When Y pressed, we're going to have them shoot. Shoot. Oh, what object are we going to have them shoot? Let's pick something simple, like a spark. Sparks are always good. Let's have the... If you really want to be coordinated, you'd have the blue shoot blue sparks and the red team shoot red sparks. And we're going to make the fire rate very slow. So launch frequency, like 1. There we go. Because it doesn't need to be fast, it just has to fire. There we go. This is the basics of our character. Now comes all the fun stuff, because we have a lot of things we need to add. So first off, I need to make these people so that they attack in place. If you haven't seen my tutorial, it's a way that they can attack without it moving forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to exit them, we're going to grab a logic cube, and we're going to program that logic cube so it holds them in place. The reason I do this is I'm going to be using a timer to count down how much time they have left per turn. And that timer will be only active while they're moving. I don't want that timer to tick down while they're attacking. However, they can attack and lunge forward across the field without depleting their movement timer. So, this keeps them from advancing across the field. What we're going to do is when, and we'll pick her, this guy, when he, see, we need to put not in front of him. When not, our player is, what am I looking for? Attacking. Attacking. Then the position of this object needs to be equal to the character's position. I'm going to copy that line, paste it. But when the Astrotech is attacking, the Astrotech's position needs to be my position. I don't think this me tile is necessary, but I put it there just for stability's sake. It's, you know, better safe than sorry. There we go. That will keep our astronaut from moving forward while attacking. Works pretty well. Oh. Last thing to keep them in place while they're jumping is when, let's see, when global blue phase is equal to, his phase is 0. You know what, I could probably put all this under phase is 0. Let's do that. When A pressed jump. This will keep the this block moving with them even while they're jumping. Alright, there we go. So that's the block. Now I'm going to very quickly rename this guy. And we're going to name him Blue 1. There we go. That way, like if we go back in here, we can see rather than Astrotech, it is Blue 1. This will make our lives easier. Alright, let's go back into Blue 1. Let's start putting some timers in. The first timer is going to be his movement timer. So, no. When moving and not attacking, we're going to do a countdown timer 0.1 loop. And we're going to make a new variable called turn timer. decremented by 0.1. There we go. Alright. So, this is one of the many things we're going to have to reset back on the first page. So let's copy this, go back here. So when started to this equals, and this number that you're about to place right here is going to be how many seconds the player can walk. The more you have this, the higher you have this, the more your player can walk around. The lower you have this, the less your player can walk around. So I'm going to put it at 2 seconds. We're playing on a fairly small field, so I'm going to put that for 2 seconds. Now, we need to have consequences for when this hits 0. So when turn timer is equal to 0, we are going to turn on a Boolean variable called end turn. When end turn is equal to, we're going to make it true. And another line, nope, I don't want it there. When end turn is equal to true, we need to advance the blue phase to 1, because currently blue phase is on 0 for him. Blue phase equals 1. Then we need to turn off this player's turn. Blue 1 equals false. Then switch page, previous page. Whew. Alright, we're making good progress here. And only 16 minutes in. Good. Alright, so that's the end turn. We also need to make a timer for when they attack. That's not quite a timer, but it has to detect when they attack. So, when started to attack hit enemy. No, that's not team. That's team. There we go. Attack hit enemy. We're going to have a variable called turn attacks. Equals, and not equals, decrement by 1. And once again, we need to have the same consequences for that. So instead of turn timer, we're going to have turn attacks. So when turn attacks is equal to 0, end turn equals true. Now we have 2 more things that we now need to reset on our first page. First, we have turn attacks, which we can copy and paste turn timer, and put this to turn attacks, which this is how many times your player can land attacks on the enemy before his turn ends. This is not how many times your player can attack in general. This is just how many they can land upon their enemies. So if you want your guy to be highly offensive, you put this higher. If you want him to be less offensive, you put it lower. I'm going to put this to 3. There we go. We have one other thing that we have to reset, but it's not a numeric variable. It is the Boolean variable called end turn equals false. Alright, we're getting there. There's a few more things that we have to do. First, let's go to the very bottom. When is dead global blue alive 1 equals false. Now let's do a couple of cosmetics. Let's add a health bar. Display, not display. We want display meter. Combat health. Let's put this at the position of top center. And let's make it blue, since we're on blue team. Then, let's put display the text time remaining with a space plus yeah, the number variable turn timer. Let's put this in top right. Let's make this one large. Let's make it blue, and let's make its priority 2. Now, I'm just going to copy and paste this same line of code, but instead of time remaining, it is attacks remaining. And because you won't necessarily be attacking at every turn, I'm going to make this a lower priority. Let's see, we're going to do turn attacks instead of turn timer. We're going to make it a medium font, and we're going to do priority 1. There we go. So we've got the cosmetics done for our guy. One last thing. When his turn ends, let's put a little sound effect. I know these things may seem trivial, but it's these things that kind of make the difference between a quickly put together world and a, you know, carefully put together world. So I don't like those sound effects. Let's do UI instead. That's a good one. Let's do that, and let's have it do everywhere, so everywhere can hear it. Alright. I'm trying to think if there's anything I've missed. There's a lot going on here. Okay. Sol's looking pretty good. Sure everything resets right. Okay. So, I believe we have our blue 1 done. Now, let's make blue 2. From here, the process goes fast. Let's duplicate him. Let's rename him blue 2. Let's grab our cube, duplicate it, and instead of it being fixated on blue 1, we're going to do blue 2. There. Put it there. Put it there. And when blue face is equal to 1. There we go. Now let's go into blue 2's brain and let's change everything from blue 1 to blue 2. So blue 1, blue 2, blue 1 alive, blue 2 alive. On this page, most everything remains the same. Blue 2, and then blue 2 alive. Alright, so that's blue. Just that quick, we duplicated it. Now I'm going to give it a test run to see if I've missed anything before I switch over to red team. So we should be zoomed out. Yep. And then we should zoom in on player 1. There we go. Now I have 2 seconds remaining and 3 attacks remaining. So when I start walking, it starts depleting. Awesome. So when I time out, sound effect, switch over to this guy, and I'm going to do an attack, holds me in place. Now, every attack that you do penalizes you half a second. That's just something that I haven't found an easy workaround yet, so I'm just calling it, you know, balancing, so you don't just spam your attacks all day long. So he'll attack again, run out of time, and nothing will happen from here because there's no red players. Now, there's one thing I did miss, though. And we need to advance the turn to blue phase 2. Now, blue phase 2 will kick it back into the in-between cycle, and then we'll allow red team to go. So let's copy blue 1, move him over here. I'm going to turn lock on, rotate him around, turn lock off, and paste him as quickly as I can. I'm going to recolor him, which shouldn't be hard, because red you just drag to the top. There. Okay. We're almost done, so whew, getting through a lot of content as fast as I can. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Now, there we go. We're getting there. I don't know why, but in my experience playing games like Halo and other games that uses the red versus blue coloring system, I almost always do better when I play on blue team, even though it's completely arbitrary. I seem to do better on blue team. So let's rename you, not open up your brain. Let's rename you to red 1. And let's go into your brain. Now we need to change your team to team 2. And we're going to change this from blue 1 to red 1. And blue alive 1 to red alive 1. Hey, what's up? This is Future Taclys. Just wanting to let you guys know that I made a mistake while recreating this. In my testing of making this tutorial, I made a Boolean variable called red alive 2. And while actually making this tutorial, I made the Boolean variable called red2 alive, which are very similar, very hard to pick up that there's a difference, but there is a very, very, very distinct difference. So what I need you to do right here is make sure that all your alive Boolean variables are the same, whether it's red2 alive or red alive 2. So do that, and you won't have the frustrations I had when I kind of ran into an error later in the video. So enjoy. Second page, once again, this needs to be turned 2. We need to make all the blue colors, we need to make them red colors. There we go. Once again, a lot of the things remain the same. We need to switch this from blue phase to red phase. From blue 1 to red 1. And from blue alive 1 to red alive 1. Now let me just scroll back through here to make sure I got everything, because there's a lot of stuff to double check. Just for fun. Let's make this a red shot. Let me spark. Search. Spark aggressive. Awesome. Yeah, it looks good. Now, let's copy and paste you. Put you here. Rename you to red 2. Go into your wonderful brain. And where it is red 1, we make it red 2. What is red 1 alive, we make it red 2 alive. This page, once again, most everything remains the same. Red phase, we need to advance that to red phase 2. Red 1 is false. You need to put red 2. And red alive 1, red 2 alive. Awesome. One last thing we need to do. We need to grab these wonderful little cubes that hold our characters in place. And we, my friends, are almost done. And I managed to get this in under 30 minutes, hopefully. Probably take more than 30 minutes once I get the test done. But a lot of content to get done. I knew it wouldn't be easy. So, where it says blue phase 1, we need to put this to red phase 1. I want to double check something here in a second. And instead of the fixation on... Actually, we're going to do this for red 1, so I'll move the cube over in here in just a second. Red 1, red 1, red 1, red 1. Yeah, I think I made a mistake on one of the cubes over there, but I will go check it. So we're going to move this cube over here. It doesn't matter where you put the cube. It instantly moves to the player it's associated with, but I like to keep the cubes close. So, red phase 2. Red 2. There. There. And there. Really quickly, let me check red 2's cube, because I think I didn't have it advanced phase for him. Actually, yes I did. My bad. I got myself mixed up there. I always just think that the number 1 in terms of phases should be the first phase, but it's 0 that's the first phase. So I did get myself right. I got myself turned around. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, I think we're ready to begin. Let's give it a try. This is the fun mode where we test if I did everything right, and I probably didn't do everything right. So here we go. Let's zoom into our first player, and he's going to advance as far as he can across the field, but he can't get very far because he doesn't have much time. We're going to have him go off to the side like that. Show us the field again. Alright, so something there didn't work right. Let's see what didn't work right. Let's see if it was the brain's fault. Hey, what's up? I got the problem figured out, which you have probably already figured out because you got my earlier notice from Taclys of the Future, which is me. I also noticed one more problem that I had that I figured I'd tell you right now. We had the death. When you die, it turns off the blue alive. Now that's all fine and wonderful, except what's the chance that you're going to die during your turn? It's pretty much 0. We have to put that line of code also on the passive page, the waiting page. So let's go to each one of our characters and do that. It's a quick little fix. It's the stuff like this that'll kill you, because you can't figure it out, 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 and then the fix is so easy that it makes you a little bit mad inside. But it's an easy fix, which I got figured out. So let's do this. Alrighty. Copy and paste. There we go. Now there's one last little cosmetic thing that I'd like to do. That this will make the turns a little bit, the intermediate part of turns a little bit prettier. So we're gonna do countdown timer 1, and then duration 1. And what we're gonna do is we're going to display, and we're going to grab the dot or the circle or whatever they call it from here. Circle. Here we go. Display circle above, and we'll pick blue 1. And let's do positioning without 3D scaling. I happen to know this dot's huge, so we're going to need to scale it down 2.5. And of course, make it blue. There we go. Now, copy and paste that. Do the same thing for blue 2. Copy and paste that. Make it red. And do it for red 1. And then copy and paste that. Do it for red 2. This is just a little something so that when you're in between phases, it looks nice, because it puts a little circle over all the surviving red and blue players on the field. Let's give it a final test, and I'm going to intentionally kill off blue 1 and red 1 of each team to make sure it'll skip their turns. So here we are. You can see the red and blue dots. They're up really briefly, but that's all you need to see. So we're going to have blue 1 advance down the middle. We're going to have blue 2 go for the flank. There we go. We're going to have red 1 also advance up the middle. And we're going to have red 2 also go for a flank, because I need to be able to differentiate between red 1 and blue 1. There we go. Blue 1 is going to advance to about right there. Shoot red 1 a couple of times. And blue 2 is also going to try to make that shot. There we go. So now it is up to the surviving red to try to kill blue 2. Blue 1, I mean. Which I'm going to let him do. There we go. There we go. So now it's red's turn. He's going to punch. Which, if you do this, I'd recommend the punch does a significant more higher amount of damage than shooting. Punch again, and then shoot him in the face to kill him. There we go. And it advances just fine. And if I was to kill red 2, or blue 2, doesn't really matter which one, currently the entire game will just advance right back to the surviving team's turn. There we go. So let me waste my turn. It'll completely skip red team and go back to blue team, but not before showing us the dots a second time. Fantastic. Everything is working perfectly. if you wanted to do a game over screen, I've never actually coded in a game over screen, so I'm not actually going to worry about that right now. We've done enough for now. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. I also hope that you guys appreciate how much work this tutorial was, making turn-based combat in a simplistic, easy to record, stable way, with being able to have teammates die and all that is a lot of work. Not to mention, I thought that all the footage that you just saw, I thought I was going to have to discard it all and redo the whole thing because I made a couple of mistakes, which I have gone back and edited out, and with the power of Flashback Taclys, have rectified those situations. So I hope you guys appreciate this tutorial. This tutorial has been about a week in the making. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys later.